Is it possible that just by learning two things, you can dramatically shift your level of confidence for your entire life? You're about to discover the two secrets, the two pieces of the puzzle that underlie all confidence and that most guys are never going to learn in their entire lives. I'm Dr. Aziz. I'm the founder of the Center for Social Confidence in Portland, Oregon. And I want to start by asking you a question about your confidence. Are you ready? The question is, do you like yourself? Do you really like yourself? Not what you want others to think or what you pretend when you're out and about in the world and you got your mask on, but when you come home at night and it's just, you and you, when it's just you and your own mind, what's it like up there? Are you on your own side? Are you your own best friend? Do you like yourself? Do you approve of yourself? Do you accept yourself? Do you encourage yourself? Are you proud of yourself, proud of who you are in the world? Or is it the opposite? Are you self-critical, down on yourself, hard on yourself, looking at the places where you're falling short, focusing on your flaws, being your own worst critic, your own worst enemy? I know I spent a lot of time there, and how is it affecting you in your life? When you're talking to someone, are you feeling tense and uncomfortable in the interaction? Not sure what to say next, worried that you're going to say something that they're not going to like, or that you're going to make a joke and no one's going to laugh. You're feeling tense and nervous in those interactions because you're afraid that people aren't going to like you. Or maybe you see a group of people that are laughing and they're friends, and you think, ugh, they don't really want me here, I'm on the outside, my friends don't really like me, people don't really want to spend time with me. Or maybe you're walking down the street and you see that man and that woman and they're holding hands and they're in love and they're just glowing, and you look at that longingly and you think, why can't I have that? Why don't I have the confidence to be like that guy who's holding her hand and just they're so connected and so happy and so in love, and why can't I have that? And worse still, maybe you've tried. Maybe you've tried to push yourself. This is what I used to do. Try to push myself to do it. So you white knuckle it. You force yourself to have the interaction. You force yourself to make the small talk. You force yourself to try to hang out with people. You maybe even force yourself to try to ask a woman out. And how does that work? Well, first of all, it feels terrible during the whole time that you're doing it. You're tense and tight and awkward and uncomfortable, and you probably don't even get the results that you want. I know I didn't. So you end up getting rejections or no or poor responses, and then you think, God, why am I doing all this? And then the worst part about it is, I don't know about you, but I had people that would say, you just got to be more confident. I remember I had a friend in college who was able to talk to women and all this stuff, and one time I was walking with him, we were going to go to this party. I got in because of him, and I was on the way there, I was like, you're pretty good with women. What do you do? How do you do it? And here's what he said to me. He looked at me and he said, Aziz, you just got to have confidence. And I hate that response. Maybe someone's told that to you. Maybe they said, you only got this one. Others aren't going to love you until you love yourself. And these truisms or cliches, or maybe there's some truth to them, but they certainly don't help. And the reality is there are two things that you have to do to unlock your level of confidence. And I've distilled them down, and there's like two pieces of a puzzle. It's like two pieces of a code. And these are the secrets that most guys are never going to learn. And the first one is, you have to have rock solid self-esteem. Your self-esteem is the core of your confidence, and you have to develop that to the place where you're solid in yourself. You really like yourself. You're on your own side. You love and accept yourself no matter what. That is the first piece. And I'd imagine if that shifted in your life and you really, really deeply loved yourself and knew that you deserved love and acceptance from people, that your self-esteem and your confidence might just dramatically shift. But there's one other piece that I found that is the other part of the code. And that is whether it's starting a conversation with someone, having small talk, being able to share about yourself, being able to make friends, being able to ask a woman out, go on dates, be in a relationship, all of those things are very specific social skills. So the second piece is you need to get decent social skills. You don't need to have the best social skills in the world, but you need to have decent social skills, and then just to be able to start a conversation with someone. And those, we tend to think that they're mysterious or there's something that you just know how to do, but no, they're very specific skills that can be broken down into steps that you can learn. It's like how to start a conversation, step one, and you can learn those things. And so that is what I provide in a new program I've created called the Confidence Code. The Confidence Code is a DVD series of videos that teach you in depth those exact two things. how to increase your self-esteem, to have rock solid self-esteem. And this is designed because I was so sick and tired of people saying, you just got to like yourself more. You just got to have better self-esteem. Well, how? How do we do it? And if you're as frustrated as I was when I was starting this process, then you know the pain of just being told to have better self-esteem. It actually probably makes you feel worse about yourself. Because then it's like, oh yeah, you're not having the social life you want? Well, it's because you have low self-esteem and you suck. And that doesn't feel good. So we need to learn, how do we increase our self-esteem? And that's what the Confidence Code teaches you. In 3 DVDs, which is over 5 hours of material, we go step by step, breaking down what are the obstacles to self-esteem, what exactly do we do that stops it from growing, where does it come from, and how do we do it? And there's very specific techniques, powerful techniques that are cutting edge, that are being developed all the time, that really work to help you shift that. And in the DVDs, we go through them. It's not just a bunch of intellectual knowledge where I abstractly tell you how to do it. We actually, just like this, face to face with me, we actually go into it step by step, do written exercises, do a number of techniques where I guide you through the process so that simply by watching and participating in the DVD, you feel a shift, right? You're not just an idea, oh yeah, I should like myself more, oh yeah, I guess I'm a good guy, but you feel down in your heart and your core, yeah, I feel lighter, I feel okay, I feel good. And that translates into all different areas of your life. You might be wondering, well, how did I learn this stuff? How do I know how to help you raise your self-esteem, or how to help you develop the social skills you need? Well, I wish I could say that I'm a natural and I just always have loved myself and now I'm sharing that because I thought I had such great ideas that I should just share it. No, the reality is I was motivated like you are, like we all are, by pain. I mean, I was stuck in a place of just crippling shyness for so many years, for almost a decade, where I had terrible self-esteem. I hated myself. I would look in the mirror and just tear myself to shreds. Trying to start a conversation with someone, I'd be so nervous, I just wouldn't do it. And if I was forced to, or trying to force myself, I would just be sweating bullets and feel terrible afterwards. And don't even get me started on women and relationships. I was just off limits. And then even when I started to try more and started to increase my confidence, the amount of self-criticism and self-rejection I felt was probably one of the most painful things I felt in my life. And so I was driven. I was like, I got to find a way out of this. Like, it's kind of like a crazed animal that's in a cage, right? So I started reading everything and getting my hands on. I've read several hundred self-help books. I started, listening to audio programs. Anything I could download, I would start listening to, putting in my headphones. I had headphones in non-stop, listening to stuff, trying to improve myself, trying to improve my self-esteem. Then I started to go to workshops, weekend workshops. Then I got into regular counseling. And I was like, how do I, shift this? And stuff started to shift for me. But then I was like, I really want to get this stuff on an even deeper level. So I decided I was going to go become a doctor of psychology and studied at Stanford and Palo Alto universities with some of the leading people in the world. I was like, these people, they must know how to do this. And so I studied under them and I learned their techniques and I learned their skills. And I combined all this stuff. And then I started working with people and testing it out and giving it a shot. And I've been doing that now for over a decade. And here's the thing though, I did a lot of stuff and I tried a lot of stuff that doesn't really work. Maybe it works for some people, but it didn't work for me. Maybe it worked for the workshop leader, but it didn't work for me. And I did the same thing working with people. I was like, oh, I heard this might help, and it didn't work. So what I did is I refined this over the decade to the most powerful results-producing exercise and activities and techniques to raise self-esteem and to build social confidence and build your social skills. And that's what I put into the Confidence Code. And I've been doing this with guys for probably hundreds of men over the last decade, guys who are in a place of complete and stuck in debilitating shyness where they can barely leave their house, barely go to the supermarket, certainly don't have a job or a social life, and using these techniques with them to help them really on a fundamental shift how they see themselves. And then when they shifted their self-esteem, you wouldn't believe how quickly the results come. And I think that that's the thing that we need to really focus on is like what happens when your self-esteem shifts. As you improve your self-esteem through this program, one of the main benefits is that you'll just start to feel better about yourself. I can't tell you how much better it feels to wake up in the morning and not be criticizing and attacking myself. Oh my God, what a relief. Or to be able to have a conversation with someone and in the whole time my head's not saying, you suck, you said that wrong, you're terrible, what's wrong with you? And then afterwards beating myself up for days. Me and a lot of the clients I've worked with have dealt with this forever. And think about being free of that. Think about being comfortable in your own skin. Think about being able to go talk to someone and be interested in getting to know them and to sharing who you are with them and learning about them because you're curious. And your self-worth being just completely out of the circuit, out of the picture. It's not even related to that experience. Imagine that freedom and what you could do with that. Imagine being able to go talk to someone that you want to talk to. Let's say you want to make friends. Imagine saying, oh yeah, that guy's cool. I'd like to hang out with him. And starting a conversation, finding common interests, being able to hang out with him, go to a movie, talk, go for a run, whatever you want to do, making friends, getting those connections. And this program will also help you in the area of dating and relationships because, my God, self-esteem and social skills are key in that area. And you might think, no, it's actually that there's something wrong with me and I'll never have that. And trust me, if you have that thought, you have to get this program because I go in depth into that. The whole first DVD is about the obstacles that we have, the stuff that we tell ourselves, the negative story that we have that blocks us from making the shift. So you have to watch that if you're thinking that right now. But just take for a moment that you could have that result from doing this program. You can feel more comfortable in yourself when it comes to talking to a woman, making a conversation with her, introducing yourself, talking to her at a party or at a friend's house or just even in a bookstore or in a coffee shop. Just being so comfortable in yourself that you're able to put yourself out there in a way that's way more than you can do right now and maybe even way more than you can imagine right now. And that's another reason to get this program is because you'll be able to visualize and help see that there are things that you can do that you used to think were not possible. We talk about opening up your potential and expanding through visualization and other techniques. So there's so much you can do, so much this program can give you. In fact, the material that's covered in this program is, as I said, over 5 hours, and it's about the amount that we would go through if we were doing individual coaching in about 5 to 6 sessions. Now that with me, coaching with me, 5 to 6 sessions would be about $900 to $1,000 US. And I realize that some people are going to want to do that. Some people are going to want to get in deep and make that shift in a radical, quick way, one-on-one with me. But a lot of people can't do that, don't have the money for that, don't have the time for that, are just not going to invest that much in this shifting this. So I want to make this accessible to you. I want you to know there's nothing in my way. So I'm going to offer this to you. Instead of at $1,000, I'm going to offer this to you at something that you can't refuse, which is $49.95. $49.95 for over 5 hours of this content where you're going to learn how to change your self-esteem, learn how all the social skills, the 9 elements of social mastery that you need to learn to be able to interact with anyone and feel comfortable in your own skin. And on top of that, your self-esteem is going to be so rock solid that rejection and the fear of judgments are not going to bother you as much anymore. Yeah, maybe that person will judge me, but what are you going to do? You remember one guy I was working with who felt like he had this big fear of like, if I'm going to make a joke, people aren't going to laugh. And then as we did this work, I noticed he started to be a lot more comfortable in himself. And then he was just mentioning a social interaction he had recently offhand in which he was, making jokes with people, someone he didn't even know. He was just starting a new conversation and making them laugh. And I was like, wait a minute. What about the whole belief, that fear that if you make a joke, people aren't going to laugh? And like, how do you think about that now? And he said, I don't know. I guess I just stopped worrying about it. I guess I just figure if they don't laugh, it's no big deal. It's just we'll keep talking. And that's the kind of shifts we're talking about with this program for $49.95. But here's the thing. If you're watching this, you are on my special VIP list. That's how you got this to this page right here. And that means it shows me that you're motivated, that you really want to make a shift, and that you're hungry. And I was hungry, and I relate to you. And so look, I want to take any reason that you shouldn't do this out of the picture. And maybe you're thinking like $49.95, I don't know, it's money and I'm not sure it's gonna work. So check this out. For a limited time only, I'm gonna give you a 90% discount on the already greatly reduced price. That means you can get this program, you can get the confidence code and everything that it offers for $5. I know it's ridiculous, $5, the price of a cup of coffee. The price, it's not even a meal at a restaurant, the price of an a la carte or a side dish at a restaurant, 2 side dishes. Depends on what state you're in. Some states you couldn't even get a drink at a restaurant for that price. $5. That's what I want to offer it to you at for a limited time because I don't want anything to get in the way. I want you to look at this and say, you know what, he's basically giving this to me for free almost, and I want to give this a shot. And you can have access to this program immediately. They're DVDs, but you can get a direct streaming view of the program. And you also get an audio download as part of the program that is a relaxation and hypnosis program that I've created, and you'll learn more about why I have this in the program, because there's something really powerful about our subconscious mind shifting things on a deep level. It's something you can listen to at night before you go to bed, while you sleep, and that can help shift your confidence, just an additional part of the program. Plus all the DVDs, instantly, instant access, streaming, downloads. You can watch the movies right away for $5 for you right now. So just click below and order that, because that's, I mean, there's really no obstacle at this point. And in fact, there's actually one more obstacle, and that's, well, I don't know if this is going to work, right? I mean, sure, this guy seems like he knows what he's talking about, but can I really know that this is going to work for me? And I get that. I mean, I've been in those shoes. I've read enough books and got enough workshops that some part of me is like, is this really going to work? Here's the thing. If it doesn't work for you, there's a money-back guarantee. You have a month to try it out, 30 days. And if you don't like it, send me an email, say I didn't like it, didn't work, and I'll give you your $5 back. I don't want to keep your $5. I don't want it if it doesn't work for you. And there's absolutely no questions, no hassle, immediate money-back guarantee. You get your $5 back, go get yourself a cup of coffee. And you get to keep the program too. Just keep the program. Maybe you'll use it later. So I want to give this to you at such a ridiculous price. There's really no reason to not get it. And if there is maybe one more reason actually, and that is fear. Fear of, what if it doesn't work? What if I get my hopes up and then I'm still stuck? And that's the biggest obstacle, really. And that's what I'm going to get into in the program, so you absolutely have to check that out. We go in depth for 15, 20 minutes right on that issue and learn how to dissolve that and shift it in a way that you're willing to give it a shot. You're willing to try, because honestly, if you're not willing to try, how do you expect things to be different? You know, the average person with social anxiety, a great chunk of people with social anxiety don't get help for over a decade. I know I was in that camp. And that's why I'm offering this for so cheap, because I want you to see, no, there is something that I can do that can help me. And if you don't take that action, how do you expect things to be different? In 6 months, if you don't order this, you just close this window and say, no. In 6 months, what do you expect to be different? You know, when you walk down the street and you see that couple, are you still going to be lonely and longing for that? When you're at home in the evening and you're by yourself, are you still going to be aching because you wish you had friends? You know, or you're at work and you see some people talking about what they did last weekend, and are you still going to feel down and upset because they didn't invite you, because you're not connected with them, because you haven't talked to them, because you've been scared to do it? Is that what your life is going to be like in 6 months? And if you don't take action, if you're anything like me, that's what my life was like for 9.5 years. I was just stuck. And I don't want that for you. In fact, you might be asking why I'm doing this. And I'll tell you, if you're ready now, just click below and order it for $5. If you don't like it, or if you don't, not even sure yet, just get it now while it's at this price. You have permanent access for the rest of your life. So, you know, get it now and then watch it 3 months later when you decide, oh, maybe I'll give it a shot now. So just get it now. But if you're wondering, why is this guy doing this? Why is he creating all this, put all this effort in and selling it to me for $5? And that's because, as I said, I spent so long suffering in this way, and I felt so much pain. And at times I was so hopeless in my life that I didn't think anything could be better. And I thought, what's the point of even living? Because I'm not going to have these things. I'm not living. I'm just going to eke through my existence and then die. And it doesn't really matter. I felt hopeless and futile. It was terrible. And when I started to really try to shift this, I made a promise to myself. And I said, if, you might even say I was talking to God. I was like, someone help me. If I can shift this, if I can end the suffering, if I can, just feel more alive and trust that people are going to like me and love myself and stop this berating and this pain, if I can do that, then I'm going to be so happy, and I'm going to become a magnifier. I'm going to share that to everyone I can come in contact to in the world. I just want to give that to as many people as I can, if I can get it. It was like a bargain with God or something. Like, just give it to me, and then I'll give it to everyone, right? And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm like, look, I feel so different in my life right now, and I have an amazing partner, a wife. I have friends, I have connections, I just feel so much love. I don't criticize myself. So I got what I wished for, and so now I'm giving it back, and I want you to get that too. So really just order now, click below, get the confidence code, you get instant access. You don't like it, send it back, $5 back to you. There's no risk, and it's $5, so check it out. Just order below. And then I look forward to talking with you more in the confidence code, where we're going to get in depth into what the blocks are, how to maximize your self-esteem, and what the 9 elements of social mastery and exactly how to do that stuff. So I look forward to talking to you soon in the Confidence Code.